Have you ever wondered about the origins of the vibrant country we know today as Spain? The history of Spain is as rich and diverse as its culture, with its roots tracing back to the early inhabitants of the Iberian Peninsula. This land, located at the southwestern tip of Europe, has seen the rise and fall of many civilizations, each leaving its unique imprint and shaping what we now know as Spain. One of the earliest groups to settle in this region were the Iberians, a collection of tribes that arrived around the 6th century BCE. They were known for their intricate stone carvings and fortified hilltop towns. Their culture was rich in religious symbolism, with a pantheon of gods that reflected their deep connection to the natural world. The Celts, a nomadic Indo-European people, also made their home on the Iberian Peninsula. They brought with them their own distinct culture, including a unique form of art and music that would later influence Spanish folklore. They also introduced ironworking, which led to advancements in agriculture and warfare. Then came the Phoenicians, a seafaring people from the eastern Mediterranean. They established prosperous trading posts along the coast, including the city of Gadir, today's Cadiz, which is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in Europe. The Phoenicians brought with them their sophisticated writing system, advanced shipbuilding techniques, and valuable trade networks. But it was the Roman Empire that had the most significant influence on the region. After the Punic Wars in the 2nd century BCE, Rome began to exert its control over the Iberian Peninsula. They built roads, aqueducts, and cities, many of which are still in use today. Latin became the dominant language, and the Roman legal system formed the basis for many of Spain's current laws. The Romans also introduced Christianity to the region, which would later become a central aspect of Spanish identity. They ruled for nearly 600 years, shaping the land, culture, and people in countless ways. The Roman period left an indelible mark on the country, from its language to its infrastructure. This was the dawn of Spain, a rich tapestry of cultures and influences that set the stage for the fascinating history to come. The fall of the Roman Empire didn't signify the end, but rather a new beginning for the region. As the mighty Roman Empire crumbled in the 5th century, a new power emerged from the chaos, the Visigoths. The Visigoths, originally a Germanic tribe, quickly established their rule, making Toledo their capital. During their reign, which lasted for over 2 centuries, the Visigoths left a lasting impact on the Iberian Peninsula, especially in areas of law and religion. They unified the region under a common law code, the Liber Judiciorum, and solidified the predominance of Catholicism through synods and councils. However, as history often teaches us, no reign is eternal. In the early 8th century, a new wave of conquerors arrived from across the Mediterranean, the Muslims. The Islamic conquest, as it is known, was swift and transformative. The Visigothic kingdom fell, and Al-Andalus, as the Muslims called their new territory, was born. Under the Islamic rule, Spain entered a period often referred to as its Golden Age. This era was marked by immense cultural, scientific, and philosophical advancements. Coined as the convivencia, or coexistence, Muslims, Jews, and Christians lived side by side, sharing ideas and learning from one another. The city of Córdoba, the capital of Al-Andalus, was a beacon of enlightenment, boasting libraries with countless books, advanced hospitals, and impressive architectural marvels. However, this era was not without its conflicts. The Christian kingdoms in the north, having maintained their independence, were not content with Muslim rule in the south. This tension led to intermittent warfare and eventually set the stage for a prolonged period of religious conflicts, known as the Reconquista. The Islamic era was a period of enlightenment, but also a time of conflict that set the stage for centuries of religious wars. In the 11th century, the tides began to turn, marking the start of a centuries-long quest to reclaim the land. This was the period known as the Reconquista, a significant era in Spanish history that saw Christian kingdoms in the north gradually retaking territories from the Muslim-ruled Al-Andalus in the south. The Reconquista was no short-term endeavor. It spanned almost 8 centuries, from the early 8th century to the end of the 15th century. It was a period of constant struggle, with territories changing hands, alliances shifting, and cultures intertwining. Yet it was more than just a military conquest. It was also a period of cultural and religious transformation. The Reconquista reached its climax with the reign of the Catholic monarchs, Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile. Their marriage in 1479 united two of the most powerful kingdoms and set the stage for the final push against the remaining Muslim stronghold, the Kingdom of Granada. Ferdinand and Isabella were not just warriors, they were visionaries. They recognized the potential of exploration and patronized one of history's most significant voyages. In 1492, the same year Granada fell, they sponsored Christopher Columbus's expedition, which led to the momentous discovery of the Americas. This event marked the dawn of a new era, not just for Spain, but for the entire world. It opened up vast new territories for exploration and colonization, paving the way for the Spanish Empire's global influence. The Catholic monarchs also initiated significant domestic reforms. They centralized royal power, enforced religious unity through the infamous Spanish Inquisition, and established Spain as a nation-state. These steps laid the groundwork for Spain's Golden Age, which would follow in the 16th and 17th centuries. With the completion of the Reconquista, Spain emerged as a unified country and a formidable world power. This period of Spanish history was not without its controversies and complexities, but its impact is undeniably profound. It shaped Spain into the nation we know today and left an indelible mark on the world's history. In the 16th and 17th centuries, Spain was the most powerful empire in the world. But how did this come to be? The rise of the Spanish Empire is a tale of exploration, conquest, and an insatiable thirst for wealth and power. It all began with a series of daring voyages to the New World, led by intrepid explorers like Christopher Columbus and Hernán Cortés. They ventured across uncharted waters, driven by a desire to expand their territories and uncover the untold riches that lay beyond the horizon. As these explorers set foot on the shores of the Americas, they claimed vast territories for Spain, from the sun-drenched deserts of Mexico to the lush rainforests of Peru. They encountered indigenous civilizations with cultures and technologies vastly different from their own. Yet, they were not there for cultural exchange. They were there for gold and silver, and they found it in abundance. Spain's global influence grew exponentially as galleons laden with New World wealth sailed back across the Atlantic. The empire's coffers swelled, funding further expeditions and cementing Spain's position as a global superpower. The flow of wealth from the Americas into Spain triggered what is known as the Spanish Golden Age, a period of extraordinary cultural and artistic flourishing. But the Spanish Empire was not just about wealth. It was about the spread of culture and religion too. The Spanish language and the Catholic faith were exported across the globe, from the Americas to the Philippines, forever shaping the cultural landscapes of these regions. Yet, this golden age of wealth and cultural blossoming was not to last. The vast wealth led to rampant inflation, and Spain's military overreach stretched its resources thin. The empire was plagued by internal conflicts, economic crises, and the growing discontent of its colonized subjects. Nevertheless, the legacy of the Spanish Empire still resonates today. It's a complex tapestry woven with threads of exploration, exploitation, cultural exchange, and religious fervor. The Spanish Golden Age was a time of immense wealth and cultural blossoming, but it was not to last. The dawn of the 18th century brought significant changes to the political landscape of Spain. The War of Spanish Succession was a defining moment, a power struggle that erupted following the death of the childless King Charles II. His passing ignited an intense battle for the Spanish throne, with the chief contenders being the grandsons of Louis XIV of France and Emperor Leopold I of Austria. This war wasn't just about Spain, it was about the balance of power in Europe. The Grand Alliance, consisting of England, the Dutch Republic, and Austria, feared the potential of a unified Spanish and French monarchy under the French candidate, Philip V. This could disrupt the equilibrium, as a Franco-Spanish union would challenge the existing dominance of other European powers. The war raged for over a decade, with battles fought not only on European soil, but also in Spanish colonies across the globe. The war finally concluded with the Treaty of Utrecht in 1713, which recognized Philip V as King of Spain, but stipulated that the French and Spanish crowns could never be united. The War of Spanish Succession left Spain financially exhausted, but with its empire largely intact. However, the nation's global standing was weakened, and its influence on European politics diminished. As Spain entered the Enlightenment era, it saw a surge in ideas of progress, reason, and liberty. The Enlightenment fostered a new intellectual movement that sought to challenge old ideas and promote scientific thought. Spain was no exception, and the Enlightenment period brought about a wave of reform and modernization in Spanish society and culture. Spanish intellectuals began questioning traditional values and norms. They promoted education, science, and the arts, leading to significant advancements in these fields. The Enlightenment also influenced Spanish politics, leading to reforms in the government and laws, which aimed to modernize the country and improve the living conditions of its citizens. The Enlightenment period marked a new era of reform and modernization for Spain. It was a time of intellectual awakening, and the seeds sown during this period would go on to influence the course of Spanish history in the centuries to come. The 20th century was a tumultuous time for Spain, marked by civil war and dictatorship. The Spanish Civil War, which raged from 1936 to 39, was a brutal conflict that left deep scars on the nation's psyche. It was a clash of ideologies, with the nationalist forces led by General Francisco Franco battling against the Republicans, who represented a coalition of left-wing and centrist factions. Franco's victory marked the beginning of a dictatorship that would last for almost 4 decades. His regime was characterized by strict censorship, the suppression of regional identities, and the persecution of political dissidents. Spain became a pariah, isolated from the international community. Yet beneath the surface, the Spanish people held on to their spirit and culture, preserving it against the oppressive weight of dictatorship. The Franco regime also sought to modernize Spain's economy, initiating a series of development plans in the late 50s and 60s. While these efforts did result in some economic growth, they also led to widespread social inequality and environmental degradation. As the 70s dawned, the winds of change began to stir. The death of Franco in 1975 opened the door for a peaceful transition to democracy. It was a delicate process, fraught with tension, but ultimately successful. This transition, known as the Spanish Miracle, saw the restoration of civil liberties, the legalization of political parties, and the establishment of a parliamentary system of government. Yet the legacy of the Civil War and Franco's dictatorship still casts a long shadow over Spain. The memory of this period continues to be a source of controversy and division as the country grapples with issues of historical memory and justice. The Franco era was a dark period in Spain's history, but the country would eventually emerge from it stronger than ever. Today, Spain is a vibrant democracy, its people resilient and proud, its culture rich and diverse. Despite the trials of the past, Spain has proven its capacity for renewal and growth, embodying the spirit of the proverb, "No hay mal que por bien no venga," there is no ill wind that blows no good. From dictatorship to democracy, the Spain we know today is a testament to resilience and transformation. A journey that begins in the late 20th century, following the death of the dictator Francisco Franco in 1975. Spain faced a crucial turning point, a choice between remaining in the shadow of a totalitarian regime or stepping into the light of democracy. It chose the latter. Under the guidance of King Juan Carlos I, Spain embarked on a process known as the transition. This peaceful shift saw the dismantling of Franco's regime and the establishment of a democratic constitution in 1978. The Spanish people breathed a collective sigh of relief as they were granted civil liberties and fundamental rights, previously suppressed under Franco's rule. As Spain embraced its newfound freedom, it sought to strengthen its ties with the global community. In 1986, Spain joined the European Union, integrating itself into a continental network of economic and political cooperation. This step marked Spain's transition from international isolation to active participation in shaping the future of Europe. But Spain is much more than its political history. It is a mosaic of diverse cultures, languages, and traditions. From the fiery flamenco dances of Andalusia to the unique Basque language, from the vibrant street festivals of Barcelona to the quiet siestas in small towns, Spain is a nation where variety thrives. And let's not forget, Spain is one of the world's most beloved tourist destinations. Millions of people are drawn to its sun-soaked beaches, historic cities, and mouth-watering cuisine every year. Whether you're wandering through the Alhambra's intricate gardens, tasting tapas in a bustling Madrid market, or watching a breathtaking sunset on the Canary Islands, Spain offers an experience like no other. Today, Spain stands as a vibrant, diverse country with a rich history that continues to shape its present and future. It's a testament to the spirit of the Spanish people, their resilience, their passion, and their ability to adapt and grow. From the ashes of dictatorship, Spain has risen as a beacon of democracy, diversity, and cultural richness. From ancient civilizations to modern democracy, Spain's history is a fascinating journey of resilience, transformation, and cultural fusion. A nation first nurtured by the Iberians and Celts, Spain was sculpted by the Romans, leaving an indelible mark on its architecture, language, and culture. Then came the Islamic era, which brought a wave of art, literature, and scientific progress that forever enriched this land. The Reconquista, a centuries-long struggle, led to the unification of Spain under the Catholic monarchs, setting the stage for the golden age of the Spanish Empire. The Enlightenment, meanwhile, brought new ideas and reforms, even as the country navigated through the turbulent waters of the War of Spanish Succession. The 20th century, marred by civil war and dictatorship, gave way to the democratic Spain we know today, a testament to its enduring spirit and resilience. As we uncover the layers of Spain's past, we gain a deeper appreciation for this remarkable country and its enduring spirit.